Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom has always felt like one of those movies that lives somewhere deep in the back of your memory, right next to the hum of a VCR and the glow of a TV left on too late at night. It's the kind of film that feels a little darker, a little stranger, and even a bit uncomfortable compared to the others, and that's exactly why I remember it so vividly. Watching it now feels like digging up an old tape you weren't sure you were allowed to watch as a kid, with tracking lines and sound that dips right when things get intense.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
You don't believe me. You will, Dr. Jones.
What makes Temple of Doom so special to me is how raw it feels. Indy here doesn't have the confidence of Raiders or the calm and self-control of Last Crusade. This one feels angry and chaotic, like it was made during a moment when everyone involved just leaned into the madness.
I suggest you give me what you owe me, or anything goes.
From the opening sequence onward, the movie feels unhinged in the best possible way. The colors are harsher, the shadows deeper, and the danger feels much more serious than a couple of brainless Nazis. Even as a kid, I remember sensing that this one wasn't playing it safe, and it definitely has the darkest mystery.
It's a thuggy ceremony. They're worshipping Kali.
There's a certain VHS era magic to how intense the movie is. The spooky underground fiery temple and the human sacrifice to a bloodthirsty goddess feels like something pulled straight out of a nightmare. Temple of Doom drops you straight into its world and never really lets up. That intensity is part of why it burned itself into my memory. It felt forbidden, like something a little too extreme for a Saturday afternoon, but that just made it more exciting. The movie also carries that very specific 80s confidence where it doesn't feel the need to soften its edges. The violence is blunt, the horror elements are front and center, and the tone swings wildly between adventure, fear, and dark humor.
Trouble with her is the noise.
No mistake.
A mistake.
I'm very little. You cheat very big. Dr. Jones, you cheat. You pay money. You owe me 10 cents.
I said, cut it out! Crying out loud, there's a kid driving the car!
Watching it now, I'm reminded of how movies back then didn't worry as much about balance or branding. They just went for it. Temple of Doom feels like a filmmaker letting their instincts take over and going completely nuts, even if it meant making something divisive.
You know how to fly, don't you?
No, do you?
Oh no.
A big part of the nostalgia comes from how physical everything feels. The sets look real because they are. The minecart chase still feels like one of the most thrilling sequences ever put on film. Not because it's perfectly smooth, but because it feels like it could fall apart any second. You can almost feel the vibrations of the track through the screen, like the VHS tape itself is struggling to keep up. I think it's really interesting that this movie, unlike Raiders or Last Crusade, tries to find a balance between humor, adventure, and horror. This doesn't always work in my opinion, and I feel like the middle part of the movie drags on a bit, but when the movie finally does go nuts in classic Indiana Jones fashion, it definitely turns into one of the wildest adventures ever made. Temple of Doom also feels special because it captures that era of adventure filmmaking that doesn't really exist anymore. It's loud, strange, and unapologetic. It assumes you're along for the ride, whether you're comfortable or not. That attitude is very much a product of its time, and it's why the movie feels so tied to VHS nostalgia. This is the kind of film that thrived in late-night TV slots and video rental shelves, where discovering it felt special and personal. When I think about Temple of Doom, I think about being a kid again and feeling genuinely unsettled by parts of it, but also completely hooked. It didn't feel like a polished adventure meant to appeal to everyone. It felt like a wild chapter that existed on its own. That's why it still feels special now. It's still strange, intense, and a little rough around the edges.
Tuesday, join in the adventures of Indiana Jones and Short Round as they lead the greatest heroes and sidekicks in movie and television history.
There's a kid driving the car!
Classic chases, daring rescues, and comic odd couples. Heroes and sidekicks, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Tuesday.
To me, the nostalgia of Temple of Doom isn't just about Indiana Jones as a character, it's about that feeling of discovering a movie that felt darker and more dangerous than the rest. It's about worn out tapes, dim rooms, and watching something that felt like it pushed the limits of what adventure movies could be. Even now, when I revisit it, that same uneasy excitement is still there, flickering like an old VHS that refuses to fully fade.
Sunday.
You could get killed chasing after your fortune and glory.
Harrison Ford in the network television premiere, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Sunday.